Very good evening and welcome to this live coverage of the traditional fixture between CRNFC and Havelocks for the Mathis Trophy, which is being played live now at the Longdon Place grounds, the home grounds of CRNFC. And this is the first time the red shirts are turning out in front of their home crowd, so they'll look to make this a memorable outing. But Havelocks, fresh from their win over Police last week, where they came back from a 28 points to 22 halftime deficit to actually win that game by 44 points to 28. They will be high on confidence as well. CRNFC also suffering a halftime deficit last week against Army, but coming back and winning the game against Army by 21 points to 15. So both teams have come back from the brink of defeat in their first week. So let's hope that they will be able to not suffer the setbacks of those games from last week and be actually able to put in a better performance for the large crowd that is gathered here today at the Longdon Place grounds. Both teams have warmed up strenuously, and for CRNFC we're noticing that Robert Malnick is starting in the fullback position, and in the halfback combination for CRNFC, for Havelocks rather, we'll have Kavindu Costa, the brother of Ashan Di Costa, who captains CRNFC, who will be starting in the 9 jersey, and next to him will be Dulaj Pereira. So looking for a lot from that 9 and 10 combination for Havelocks. That will be an exciting contest for sure when they were up against Dilan Soiza and Ashan Di Costa, the captains, the two brothers going up against other in the halfback combination. Your referees for this evening, Priyantha Gudaratna, he will have a hard task making sure this game is going to be one that is played clean, played fast, and played in an entertaining manner. Ashan Di Costa kicking off the first half of this CRNFC versus Havelocks clash. Well taken there by the captain, Sudarshan Mudutantri, but the ball is lost and CRNFC have it on the 22-meter line. Dilan Soiza gives it out to his forward runners. It's available once again, and now they've got some space on the outside, but Ashan Di Costa looks to cut in because the gap was closed pretty quickly. Josh Koifa getting in there with the afro, you can't mistake him. But the referee had spotted something before, so it was a knock forward. I think Ashan lost that ball in contact on the ground. So a big hit put in there by the number 13 for Havelocks, that is Sayosi Yuangi. And Josh Koifa, the other man with the big dreads, he's one to look out for on the top of your screen there, Dhanushka Ranjan. Watch out for him today. He's come back from that injury that he picked up at St. Peter's a year or so ago with real vigor. And he's one for the 7th Circuit to watch for as Shanaka Kumara lines up this first kick. So there was a penalty. Somebody left their feet in the earlier passage of play. And Shanaka Kumara has been in good form with the kicking boots, the winger. And it's an easy kick, and Kumara, just as I say, he's in good form, pulls it wide. So that's much easier than a lot of the kicks he got in last week. But an early chance of points and some confidence building and settling out the nerves goes a-begging. And Dulaj Pereira will kick this one out of his 22. Dulaj Pereira also Pete Wright, the young fly half. Very exciting prospect, needs to discipline his game a little bit to make sure he takes the right options, tighten up a few areas. But he will be an interesting prospect for the future. So Kumara, who missed that kick, now finds his captain Ashan Di Costa. They put it up high in the air. It's a big kick, but maybe not going far enough. Nobody wanted to claim it. Now it's a game of volleyball there, and Anuranga Walpola comes away with it. Walpola presents the ball nicely to Kavindu Di Costa, and Mohammed Sharif has a monster boot on him, but puts it straight down the throat of Rochana Hettiarachi, who has some room to run now. Hettiarachi again puts it up. There's nobody home for Havelocks. Dulaj Pereira gets back, but the bounce might beat everyone. Anuradha Herath, is he over the line? Yes! Dilan Soiza burrowing for the line, and he's over! Anuradha Herath. An outstanding performance from him to chase that ball up and managed to get them over the line. So the first blood drawn to CRNFC. It was a good kick by Rochana Hettiarachchi, who really is one to watch for this season. He's playing his first club rugby this year and has helped his team with a fabulous kick. Spotted the space in behind Havelocks. There's nobody home. Dulaj Pereira was going back. Dushmanta Priyadarshan, I think it was in the number 24 jersey. In fact, it was Mohammed Sharif in the number 24 jersey who's playing at fullback, who was not in position. He had to come around a long way. And Anurag Herat got there before he did and dotted the ball down with a little help from his friend. So good kick chase. Imti Marika will be happy with that. And Shanaka Kumara with his second kick from almost the identical spot manages to give CRNFC a 7-point lead. Havelocks will come back strong from this. And just to let you know that Havelocks are severely weakened from last year. They've lost the likes of Terence Henry. They've lost the likes of Sharo Fernando, Chamara Dabare on the wing as well. So quite a few players that they're missing, some stalwarts and some men in key positions, which is a little problem for them. But they need to find their feet. Sudarshan Mututantri led them last year as well. So he will be familiar to this captaincy role. And CRNFC will have to make sure that they capitalize on that early stroke of luck almost. Shehan Pathirana getting in among the restart, but Dilan Soisa cleans it up nicely. This is Sasanka Aryaratna. He's found some space, Aryaratna. It's a good sevens player, so he's got pace. It's a good clean out, but awesome work by Diran Vandakulasuriya, who's turned that ball over. Now Kavidu De Costa against his brother's side. De Costa still going. Lovely run from Kavidu De Costa. Such a diminutive little player. And now they've got space. Mututantri. Big run from Dushmanta Priyadarshana. And offside, says the referee. So Havelocks hitting back immediately. A lovely run from Kavidu De Costa. Played in the jersey of his opponents last year. But not finding a regular starting spot. Moved over to Havelocks, where he can start and impress the national selectors. And good intent from the Havies boys. Dulaj Pereira kicking into the corner. And Havelocks will show the faith in their line-out. They've got two excellent line-out jumpers in Shehan Pathirana and Ashen Kartelis. Sudarshan Mututantri also watch for him at the back. Saw them warming up with him taking the throw at the back, and they've gone to the middle. But it's a good sack from CRNFC, not allowing Havelocks to set up that maul. And they've managed to turn it over. That's good defense from Sia. That is Puppy Farrell in the number 8 jersey, but the ball kicked against the uprights. Haven't seen that happen for a long, long time. But the referee comes back saying there's no advantage, and he will give the scrum for the knock-on to CRNFC. So good bit of line-out defense there from Sia. Something that coach Shamli Nawaz, I'm sure, would have been working on quite a bit. He's the forwards coach with Mohammad Mushtaq Jifri, as he is known, being the one to coach the backs. Dilan Soisa making a comeback to CRNFC. He's played in this jersey a few years previously. Also played at Air Force, but a good big scrum from Havelocks, but they wheeled it the wrong way, allowing Puppy Farrell enough time to come off the base. Good pressure from Havelocks, good counter ruck there. They're really contesting this ball. Dilan Soisa having a bit of a head knock with someone there. Not exactly sure what happened, whether he knocked on the referee. But Diran Vandakulasuriya getting a bit of a dressing down from referee Priyantha Gunaratna. So a lot of contesting in that ruck, but maybe not in the way that it should legally have happened. Robert Malnick finds touch. The Tasman Macos player, Robert Malnick, not playing in the fullback position. He's actually playing at number 12. So coach Imti Marika putting his best two foreigners in the mix early on. That's Malnick and Farrell. Rajit Abekun was pulled down, I thought, but that escaped the attention of the referee. That's a big run from Josh Koifa. He's going to be the big ball carrier, that's for sure. Soise goes to ground, losing his footing, but it's still available for Costa. Costa now to Sharif. Sharif looks for the little punt, but it's not a good one. And Rochana Hettiarachchi will gratefully thump this one right down the field and find touch 60 meters from where he started. So that's good play from Rochana Hettiarachchi, some good no-nonsense play. And he really has impressed me in the start to this season. Probably the best debutant so far. It's still very early doors. But you can tell a quality player from the way he adapts to this club rugby game. He's physically very, very good, Rochana Hettiarachchi. As is Anuradha Herath. It's a line out for Havelock's, well won there by Shehan Pathirana, who is an outstanding line out forward. But again, Mohammed Sharif puts it straight down the throat of Hettiarachchi. Hettiarachchi once again puts it up, and he'll chase this one. Kavindu Di Costa, nobody wants to claim it. And now it's bouncing all over again. So the kick chase has not been great. Sudarshan Muditantri sneaks out of the back door. Dhiran Vannakulasuriya, his other flank forward, takes it forward. It's a good rumble from Dhiran. Muditantri again. Straight into his opposite number, Sasanka Aryaratna, who makes a good tackle. Holding on, says the referee, so good work there on the floor by Dylan Soisa, who has a bit to say to Ganuka Disanayaka. Ganuka Disanayaka, the Isipatana schoolboy, playing his first season of club rugby as well. And prop is a much more difficult position to adjust to in your first year. Robert Malnick finding touch again. No doubt he'll want the ball, Malnick. And they're moving both foreigners into the line, so CRNFC looking to run from here most likely. But they'll have to win the ball first, and Rajit Abekun fakes at the front, but it goes to Dilan Pereira. The throw is crooked, and Dilanka made a good jump, but not a good bit of work from Malinda Hettiarachchi, who is a prop but will be throwing in. The game really hasn't come to life yet. It's very early in the game, the first 15 minutes. CRNFC 7, Havelock 0. First scrum of the game. Let's see how this goes. Coming off the back is Josh Koifa, but a good tackle on him by Papi Farrell. Nice low tackle, so they've gone behind the gain line. They've lost about 10 meters here, Havelocks. They're really missing Terence Henry by the looks of things. Good kick, but well covered by Shanaka Kumara, who goes back. Now he's got some space, but it's a good chase from Havelocks. Hettiarachchi has no option but to kick. Straight down the throat of Mohammed Sharif, but he knocks it forward. He won't be very happy about that, the experienced fullback. And allows CRNFC some easy territory there, and a nice midfield scrum from which to attack. So this is a scrum that will excite Papi Farrell, I'm sure. The New Zealander will look to go off the base. He's not very big, but he is quite explosive from a standing start. Ashan Di Costa having a word with Robert Malnick outside him. Will this come left or will they go right? Have to have a good scrum first though. They go right. This is Farrell. Goes laterally. Gives the pass to Rochana Hettiarachchi, who dummies. Now finds Sasanka Aryaratna supporting on the inside. Now it's available for Soisa once again. It's a big hit in the front row. And not releasing the ball. That looked like it was Nipuna Devinder who made that mistake. So he's really got to ease up on the discipline, Devinder. He's got a good heart. Goes in hard into all his tackles, into all the contact. but really must make sure he makes the ball available for his following up players if he's to be a valuable player to his team. Good touch there from Mohammed Sharif. Takes play up to the 50-meter mark. It's been all Sia thus far. But Havelocks have a lot of experience in their back division. Sandun Herat, the top try scorer from last year, hasn't got his hands on the ball yet. Danush Karanjan also playing outside Sayose Yoange. That's a crooked throw, but referee spots it. So these are the mistakes that you probably won't see in international rugby and should really be eliminated even at this standard of rugby. I know it's only semi-professional, but you really shouldn't be giving away easy possession to the opposition like that. Crooked throws are something that hookers can work on by themselves. And it's a core skill that is sadly missing from not just these two teams, but a lot of the teams around the circuit. So Sia have another attacking opportunity. A nice blind side, 15 meters of a blind side for Farrell to work with if he wants to. Moves to channel 1 and there he goes again. It's a good run but loses the ball forward, so it's of no avail. Costa gives it to Anuranga Walpola. Ashan Di Costa is up quickly in defense. Forces Walpola on the inside. Now a little kick from Mithun Hapugoda. Kanchana Ramanayaka does well. Kanchana Ramanayaka does extremely well, but the penalty had been given away before that. So Mithun Hapugoda, that explosive sevens player, playing on the left wing, coming in off his wing and trying to look for some work, which is good to see. And nearly created a little bit of space, but good work from Kanchana Ramanayaka tracking back. He's an underrated player, is Ramanayaka. Did well last season, did well last week as well, as Dulaj Pereira lines up this touch finder. So looking for the line out. Havelocks clearly the stronger team in the line out, because CRNFC really have only Rajitha Abekun as an option. Dilanka Pereira is played at centre most of his life at St. Peter's, so he's not really somebody who is proficient with line out play. Something he learnt on the job last year at CRNFC. Kamindu Di Costa, another messy line out from both teams. Dulaj Pereira looks for it. The back of the hand offload, and they've gone backwards at a rate of knots. Ramanayaka makes a good tackle on Mohammed Sharif, but they've got the ball back, although they've lost ground. That's good work from Ashan Di Costa. Good counter-rucking from Havelocks, but Muthutantri comes away with it. That's outstanding work from CRNFC. Dulaj Pereira tried to go early and round Robert Malnick. Malnick, is he going to go all the way? Robert Malnick, wow, that's a great pass. Dilanka Pereira finds Dilan Soiza, and now Anuradha Herat finds Malin the Hettiarache. How did the prop get up there to support? But there's been a knock forward. But you can see why he's one of the best players in the ITM Cup. Just spotted the opportunity, Robert Malnick, and went for it. Made 40 meters before he found his support. And it's good to see the interchange of play between the CR players, but just not enough to make that final pass. You can see CR really have a lot of hunger. Probably a little bit more hunger than is evident in these first few passages of play from the Havelocks team. We're down in back play here. Referee Gunaratha running over to check on Dhiran Vandakulasuriya, whose right leg is heavily strapped. Dhiran recovering from an ACL injury. Had surgery on that leg, so took a while to come back from it. Missed most of the year of his captaincy as well. But looks like he might run it off, Dhiran. Carrying a lot of weight, easily 105, 110 kilos, Dhiran Vandakulasuriya, so when he hits you, it hurts. But a nice breather for the whole team. It's a very hot day here Very humid as well. And Sia will need to really put pressure on this scrum. It's one of those scrums that you know will make a difference if you scrum well. Malinda Heterachi on the left side, the loose head side of the scrum against Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Josh Kaifa does well though at the back of that scrum. Sasank Ariyatna ties him up. But a penalty coming. Referee says illegal entry into that ruck. He's going to have a word with referee. He's going to have a word with Ashan Di Costa, the captain, telling him why he doesn't want to hear any more from Papi Farrell, the number 8, the foreign player for Sia. Referees really don't like being told what to do and what to blow. Looks like he's going into the book. And Farrell will learn very quickly here in Sri Lanka that his expectations have to be managed of referees. And Dulaj Pereira will get his team out of jail. It's not a fantastic kick from Dulaj, but he had very little angle to work with. Gains his team about 25 meters. And they do have the ball, so sure they're looking to get Josh Koifa into this game. The big dreadlocked Samoan in the number 8 jersey. Havelock's walking lethargically into the line out. And Ashen Kartelis is stripped of the ball by Abe Kun in the front. So a good steal there. Kartelis has gained a few pounds and lost a few years. So he's not as springy at the front of the line out as he used to be. Used to be an unparalleled jumper for Sri Lanka and CRNFC, but now takes a little harder to get up. And here's Muthutantri at the back. That's a better line out from Havelocks, but now Farrell comes away with it. Muthutantri losing the ball. And here's Malnik. Malnik on the cutback to Kanchana Ramanayaka, and Ramanayaka can't hold on to it. Danushka Ranjan did well to hold up that ball, and here's Walpola going back into contact. And now Havelocks look for big Josh Koifa. They make the tackle on him. They've gone back. And now Sharif looking to run it out of their 22. This is Danushka Ranjan again. Runs straight into a heavy tackle. But the referee says that CRNFC were offside. So you can see the intent from Havelocks to try and spin it from wherever they may be on the park. They've put some faith in their backs. Not sure that was the right option for Malnik earlier to try and cut back. But they've been camped in their half and may want to play a territorial game a little later. Dulaj Pereira slicing this one off the side of his boot. Sia will be happy with the way they've performed in this first 20-25 minutes. They're leading by a goal to nil. As Anuranga Walpola lines up this throw near the 50-meter mark. Walpola, former CRNFC stalwart, also played for Kandy. Now finding himself in the pink and chocolate jersey. Muthutantri. It's not a great win. Kavinda Di Costa having to do a lot of tidying up and then gets smashed by the CRNFC big men. Dilan Soiza shifts it quickly to Nipuna Devinda. Falling all over the ball is Muthutantri. Ashan Di Costa missing a tackle, and Josh Yoyange, Dushmanta Priyadarshana going in for the corner, but Papi Farrell getting across to support, and the ball goes out. So really messy play from both teams. Terrible work off the line out. Kavinda Di Costa got stripped as well off that ball. And after that, there was a horrible mess at ruck time. Dilan Soiza trying to throw the ball off the deck. Nobody really playing a structured game and showing some discipline. And Havelock's making an early substitution with Jason Melder going in for, not sure who it is yet. Good take there by Shehan Pathirana, and now Havelock's get a drive on. This is going to be difficult to stop. Very difficult to stop from here. And they score. That's Havelock's first try. Sudarshan Muthutantri, the captain, scoring at the back of that maul. And good work in the line-out from Shehan Pathirana. And that's what good line-out ball can do for you, which is why it's a criminal waste that both teams are throwing away such good line-out ball. But an excellent setup from Havelock's. And Melder's introduction with that weight really making a difference. Dushmant Priyadarshana seems to have made way. In fact, it's Dhiran Valnakarasuriya who's come off. So Jason Melder will replace him. And Dulaj Pereira's kick is wide of the right hand upright. So a 2-point lead for CRNFC against a run of play, really. That try came from a scrap. It was well done by Sayose Yangi. And on this hot, humid day, CRNFC have to make sure they play the full 80 minutes rather than playing for the first half an hour. You can see at the center of the field, Robert Malnick already asking how much time. And this is where the foreigners will struggle because it is really humid. And in a winter sport in New Zealand, it's very hard to come from that sub-zero temperature sometimes into playing in 40-degree heat. So whether they can sustain is something we'll have to wait and see. Sayose finally takes a ball, gets the offload away to Shehan Pathirana, shows good body position. And now Dulaj Pereira will spin it wide, and Danushka Ranjan escapes the tackle of Kanchana Ramanayaka. Doesn't try to evade Dylan Soisa. I thought he could have sidestepped. Went straight into the man. And now Havelock's with their tails up. Good defense there from CRNFC getting across, and now they've stolen the ball. Dylan Soisa looking for a bit of space. There's a good pass to Robert Malnick, who finds some space. Kavindu De Costa has to go back, but the chase is weak from Sia. Shanaka Kumara finally gets there, and Kavindu De Costa puts the ball into touch. So both teams really being profligate in the contact. Not really showing good ball retention. Not the sort of ball retention you expect from a club side. These are sides with 20-30 million rupees being spent on them. And they really should be doing better in the contact areas. Papi Farrell in the center of the field. Gives it to Kanchana Ramanayaka. Spins out of one tackle. And now Robert Malnick tries to find the offload, but it goes backwards. And Rochana Hettiarachi now gives it to Kanchana Ramanayaka. Anuradha Herath thumped in the tackle, but the referee was playing advantage. And Sia will think about taking this quickly because Havelocks are stretched. And that was good thinking by Papi Farrell, just took it from completely the wrong mark. And Sia will look to extend their lead by getting these points through Shanaka Kumara's boot. And the young winger, I'm sure, will be happy to oblige. But good play once again from Sia, stretching the wide-out defense of the Havelocks. Attacking that 13-14 channel and testing Danushka Ranjan's positional skill in defense. Very different game from Sevens game. And the kick is good, so Shanaka Kumara gives his side a 5-point lead. And Malnik will hope to see a little bit more of the ball after this restart. But both teams, as you can see, maybe on your screen, maybe not, puffing in some big ones, so you can see how humid it is out there on the field today. It's been a very hot day today. And personally, I feel the warm-ups that a lot of these teams do are much too long for this humidity. And as a result, they start losing their puff in about 20 minutes. Dilan Soisa juggles and regathers, had his heart in his mouth for a moment before the ball was in his hands. Malnik gets into the pocket, looks for the pass from his scrum half. But Sia do well to retain that. And now Malnik doesn't find touch though and gives it to Mithun Hapagoda, the danger man. Hapagoda doesn't run and gives it to Sharif instead. Now coming to DeCosta. Runs himself into a little bit of a corner. I think that was just a little bit too much direction changing from Sia. And now Dushmanta Priyadarshana gets a gap. Good tackle from Ishan Noor. Ankle tap. That was just Koifa. Koifa looking for the space. Malin the Hettiarache brings him down. And Papi Farrell is over and stole that beautifully, Papi Farrell. He was the first man to the ball. He had rights. And Josh Koifa shakes his head in disbelief. Not really sure whether it's disbelief at the refereeing, disbelief at his own error, or disbelief at how quickly Papi Farrell was over that ball. So a lot of penalties being given away by both teams in attacking positions. Nobody really wants to hold on to the ball and have any patience by the looks of things. Havelock's had a good opportunity to run that one back at Sia, but a little bit too much crisscrossing and scissoring instead of running direct. That's well stolen there. Well stolen by Shehan Pathurana, but the referee had ruled that Lema had closed the gap in the line-out. And that's an interesting call because Pathurana did seem to come across Dilanka Pereira. Now they've taken the short tap. Ashan DeCosta looks for Farrell. Farrell runs straight into Sayosa Uyangi. Leaving his feet is Sayose. And Shehan Pathurana looks like he might get a card today. Yes, he does. It's the first, not the first offense by Shehan Pathurana. He gave away the closing of the gap. And that's a big loss for Havelocks because they've lost their main line-out jumper and also one of their best loose forwards. So that's a huge advantage for Sia, who have to take advantage of it. And if I were them, I wouldn't go for the points at the moment. I'd actually go for the corner because Havelock's line-out is one man too little. That's not great captaincy. I would have thought that with the man down, with the best line-out jumper down, Sia would have gone for the corner, especially with half-time approaching. But they're looking like they want the points instead. And Kanchana Ramanayaka taking the long kick. And it's well wide. Hung in the air for a while and he got the distance, but just not enough of accuracy from Ramanayaka. Looks like Shanika Kumara will take the angular kicks while Ramanayaka will take the long ones. But once again, I really think that they should have gone for the points there, rather gone for the corner there. Good kick from Mohammad Sharif, finding space in the back three. And not good cover. That was really a big miss from CRNFC, not covering the touchlines there. So CR will have the line out. They need to make sure they actually win it though. Haven't really been too good on their own ball so far. Sometimes a tendency to overcomplicate things, which they didn't do there. Just Rajat Abekun up at 2. Surely got the measure of the old hand Asha and Kartelis in terms of explosiveness at the front of that line out. Truck and trailer, says the referee. Obstruction, so Josh Koifa will take this one quickly. Still going is Koifa. Dilanka Pereira gets him in a tackle, but it's not good enough. Good pass out from Kavinda De Costa. Now Danushka Ranjan cuts back in. And well ripped. The ball is well ripped from him. And Robert Malnick. And Dilan Soiza. Having a bit of a go at Sayose. No prizes for guessing who's going to win that fight. But Havelock's guilty of indiscipline in attack. They've got to adapt to what the referee is calling and make sure they don't give away good attacking ball. That's a great kick from Robert Malnick. Takes his team almost up to the 40-meter mark in the opposite half. But CR really need to win this line out if they are to close the half on a high. Rajit Abekun making the line out calls for CR. Malin the Hettiya Ratchid throw in. They go to the back, and this time Dilanka wins it cleanly. Dilan Soiza to Papi Farrell. Farrell with the long ball out to Ashan De Costa. De Costa gives it to Ramanayaka, who cuts back in nicely. Now they've set it up and need to come from where they started. Robert Malnick. Malnick to Ishan Noor. And that pass is ruled as forward by the referee. Noor standing just a little too far in front of the ball carrier. And this is a nice attacking scrum once again for Josh Koifa. But there are only 6 men in the scrum, and CR really need to take some advantage from that. Push hard in this scrum against this 6-man scrum or 7-man scrum, and try and disrupt what could be really good attacking ball for Josh Koifa. Koifa goes and makes a good handoff on Papi Farrell. Malnick takes him down well. And he's the tackler. The referee had called for the advantage, but we have the touch judge who has put his flag out for foul play, and that was Sandun Herat, who got hammered by Dilan Soiza after the ball had gone. And I think we might be seeing another card here. Referee having a word with his assistant, Dimitri Gunasekara. And Priyantha Gunarathan, two of the better referees on the circuit in Sri Lanka. Can't really hear what the referee has to say. And all 4 players involved in that, and the 2 captains having a bit of a chat with the referee, Dilan Soiza, Sandun Herat, and the 2 captains, Muthu Tantri and De Costa. Looked for all money that Sandun was going to win that race, but Dylan Soisa got entangled in his legs, obviously intentionally. And they get the penalty. So Havies now have a bit of a think. They're going to the corner, but they don't have their best line-out man on the field. The one who won the line-out for their last try, for their first and last try, I should say, is not on the field. So this line-out ball, Karthelis and Muthutantri become the targets, and that makes it easier for Sia to mark. Here's Anuranga Walpola. Goes to the back, and manhandled is Muthutantri. And holding on is the call. And he had really no option, Sudarshan Muthutantri, because the throw was overthrown. He was absolutely isolated, and I thought he was lucky not to get away with some serious injury the way that Puppy Farrell went at him. But not a great bit of work from Malnik there. But he does find the ball, does find the touchline, as Sandun Herat had his foot on the touchline when he collected that ball. So the ball is out. But I don't think that Havelock's made the right decision in going for the corner there. May have gone for the scrum perhaps. And now Sia once again are faced with this problematic own line-out ball. Referee Priyanta Gunaratna now, Sandun Hera desperate to get his hands on the ball. He hasn't touched it in an attacking position so far. And now Soyisa. Walpola to Dulaj Pereira. Sharif screaming for it on the outside. Cutting back off his left foot. And Sharif losing the ball in contact once again. Robert Malnik now looking for some space. Dilanka Pereira. Not sure what that call was for obstruction. But the referee calling an obstruction for crossing. And assistant referee once again, Dimitri Gunasekara, has got his flag up, and he'll have a word with referee Gunaratna. The two referees having a chat. I think this penalty may even be reversed. Sudarshan Muthutantri clearly frustrated. You can see him shaking his head. And the penalty is reversed. Not really sure what that was for, since we can't hear the referees. But that's half time, and it's 10 points to 5 in favour of CRNFC. The Red Shirts leading at home. So a much better half of rugby than they had against Army last time around. And they'll be happy with that performance. Coach Inti Marika will be happy with that 10 points to 5 deficit that the visiting team faces. And Glenn Christini will have a few harsh words to his team. The first thing he'll tell them is to retain the ball in contact. So we'll be back from Longdon Place, live and exclusive on thepapare.com for this Dialogue A-Division rugby clash, a traditional clash between CRNFC and Havelocks, one of the most looked forward to games in the local rugby scene. And this is being played for the Mathis Trophy. We'll be back with second half action from Longdon Place in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We're back live here at the Longdon Place grounds where CRNFC are playing Havelocks in this first round, second week action of the Dialogue Rugby A Division League. At halftime, CRNFC leading by 10 points to 5. They scored an early try, which was goal by Shandaka Kumara, who put over another penalty. And Sudarshan Mudutantri, the captain for Havelocks, scored off a rolling maul for the Havies. That's all the scoring we've seen in the first 40 minutes. It's been a scrappy half of rugby, to put it mildly, as Havelocks kick off hard and high, and Papi Farrell takes it well. Dilan Soisa gives it to Ishan Noor, who runs slap bang into the new player for Havelocks, Robert Malnik. Thumps it down the field to Mohammed Sharif, and the chase is weak from CRNFC. It's not a good chase at all. And now the Havelocks look for good bit of defense from CRNFC there. And looks like Viliami Tahitua is on for Havelocks. Raj Dabekun winning that one nicely. And Ashan Di Costa stepping out of trouble there and gives it to Robert Malnik, who doesn't manage to step out of trouble. And good clearance kick on the base of that scrum from Dilan Soisa. And Sharif now will kick it back to Soisa, who looks for Malnik, his star player. Robert Malnik puts it high for Danushka Ranjan to come under. Ranjan doesn't want anything to do with it. And Josh Koifa finally takes it to ground. And now Havelocks come away with it. Mithun Hapagora trying to have a dash. Good kick from, well, not really a good kick from Kavindu Di Costa there. Off his left foot. Finds touch on the full, so CRNFC will have the line out from where the ball was kicked. And Havelocks looking to make another substitution on the sideline just in front of me. And that substitution will probably be made just before the line out happens. And the change will be Hiranta Pereira, who goes on for Mohammed Sharif. Sharif won't be happy to come off. Very proud player who won't want to have come off that early in the piece. Shahan Pathirana doing well. And referee saying that Kavindu Di Costa faked that one from the scrum. You can't dummy from the base of the scrum. Ashan Di Costa now gives it to Papi Farrell. Farrell with the long pass to Kanchana Ramanayaka. Ramanayaka looks inside for Rochana Hettiarachi, who gets hit high. Referee saw it, but he's letting it go. I think that seemed to be a high hit, but maybe while Ramanayaka was, or Hettiarachi was falling. And he's fine. He's back up to get to where he needs to be. Viliami making a difference for Havelocks already. Viliami Tahitua. Looks like he's more full of running than Sayosi was earlier in the 40 minutes. Nobody wants it. And Sasanka Aryaratne gives it to Papi Farrell. Rajit Abekun finds himself at first receiver. He's not happy about that, but Kanchana Ramanayaka will put it onto his left boot. And Kavindu Di Costa covers well. Good positional play from the young scrum half. Puts it back. And well covered again by Rochana Hettiarachi, the two young players showing some good awareness. And the new man, Hiranta Pereira, will juggle this one and kick it into touch under tremendous pressure from Rochana Hettiarachi, and manages to get a good distance under the circumstances. Juggled the ball a little bit too much there, Hirantha. He's a fly half by trade, been put into the fullback position because the management wanted Mohammad Sharif off tactically, or whether it's fitness reasons, we don't know. But Rajat Abekun again not winning that ball cleanly, and Malinda Hettiarachi having real trouble here with the throwing. Arun Kumar was throwing last week at Army, and Malinda Hettiarachi has started preferably for his throwing ahead of Shamir Fajuddin. But clearly that is an area that CRNFC really need to work on. Dilanka Pereira on the open side flank for CRNFC. Josh Koifa gives it to Sandun Herat. Sandun Herat still chasing. Wonderful chase, but the ball knocked on. That was really unfortunate from him. And that's Poppy Farrell. Referee playing advantage. And now Arun Kumar runs straight into Sudarshan Mutatantri. Good presentation from the CRNFC player. There's got space on the outside. Now Robert Malnik to Kanchana Ramanayaka. Ramanayaka puts the kick in. Mithun Hapagura tries to intercept it. It's taken into the 22. And the referee says play on, and Robert Malnik looks for some space. And Malnik is over for CRNFC's second try. Good thinking by Anuradha Herat there. He had his foot in touch. And he gave the quick throw into Malnik, who is again puffing and heaving the big ones in, but scores an all-important try for CRNFC. This will build their confidence, and Havelocks will have a little bit more to do to get back into this game. Kanchana Ramanayaka's kick almost palmed into touch by Mithun Hapagoda. It was good ball movement from Malnik in the first place, and Ashan DeCosta spotted the space on the outside. As Shanika Kumara looks to make it a 7-pointer. And that's a good kick from Kumara, struck it well. And that's 7 points. So CRNFC go from 10 points to 17. So it's 17-5 to Havelocks. You can see that Havelocks are missing the sort of injection of pace from Dabare. They're missing the power and the pace of the man, and also missing the big guns up front. Sharo Fernando and Terence Henry, huge losses in the front five for this Havelocks team. Last won the title in 2012, and in this centenary year they will be hoping to do well. But they need to turn around this game quickly if they are to achieve that. Well taken there by Rajat Abekun. Looks for the offload, but Anuranga Walpola wraps him up nicely. Nipuna Devinder bumps off the tackle of Dulaj Pereira. He's still going the big prop forward. And that's great scavenging work from Sudarshan Mutatantri. And Nipuna Devinder was holding on to the ball. So trying to make ground, but in the end isolating himself. And this is where Sia's players need to stay on their feet a little bit more. And Dulaj Pereira misses touch. That's a bad mistake from the young fly half. And Rochana Hettiarachi will say thank you very much and thump this one 40 meters down the field. So that's a terrible miss from Dulaj Pereira. They really needed that, especially after conceding at the other end. They needed to get into the opposition territory and put pressure on CRNFC, but it's costly mistakes like that that change games. Walpola with Havelocks walking in. Ashen Kartelis wins it comfortably at the front this time. This is Williami. Williami trying to wrestle his way out of the tackle of Robert Malnick. Really physical stuff there, but Malnick eventually getting him down. And Dulaj Pereira puts in a little chip, but Rochana Hettiarachchi has it covered. Hettiarachchi will put the big kick in, and he's put his players on side and grab Mithun Hapagoda as well. That's good play from Rochana Hettiarachchi. And the referee says, leaving their feet. That was Ashan DeCosta and Sasanka Aryaratne who left their feet in that tackle. So, again, bad discipline. And Dulaj Pereira will look to make amends, but he's missed touch again. Kanchana Ramanayaka now will give it to Robert Malnick, who looks for Billy James, who has come onto the field in place of Puppy Farrell. That's a good kick from Billy James, and Mithun Hapagoda will chase this one back and clear under pressure. Mithun, who has played at fullback quite a bit. So I think they've made the smart change now and put Hirantha Pereira onto the wing and put Mithun Hapagoda at fullback. I think that was a call that should have been made earlier on. Haven't seen much of the midfield today from Havelocks. They haven't had a lot of ball. Danushka Ranjan has had only one meaningful run. I'm sure they would want to see him have more of the ball. And Sia go to the front of the line out to try and escape those woes that they've had. Nipuna Devinda gives it to Sasanka Aryaratne. Presents the ball well for his teammates. DeCosta catches and passes. Billy James gives it to Rochana Hettiarachchi. Hettiarachchi to Kanchana Ramanayaka, puts the kick in. And now Mithun Hapagoda doing well to try and run his team out of trouble, and he's secured the ball well. And Kamindu DeCosta fakes the box kick and tries to make a little bit more ground. Not sure whether that was the right option from the youngster half. And now Dulaj Pereira will have an opportunity, but he hooks it. And under serious pressure there from CRNFC. So CR looking to move it wide, and Havelock's defense really has been tested. Their defense out wide has not been great. So their back three are great in attack, especially with the speed of Mithun Hapagoda and Sandun Herath. But they don't look like they've got the same sort of ability on defense. So CRNFC playing with an all-foreign midfield. Billy James and Robert Malnick at 12 and 13. Billy James Ropina. Well won there by Dilanka Pereira at the front of the line-out. Now Billy James has an option, should probably have gone himself, but he threw the lob pass to Malnick, which was knocked on by Havelocks in the attempt to intercept. And now Billy James one-on-one with Danushka Ranjan. He brushes him off. And now Sia have the ball. Joel Pereira gives it to Nipuna Devinda, who stays on his feet nicely, but might have gotten tied up there. Still available for Dilan Soiza. Still available. But it's good work on the ground from the Havelocks team there, driving CRNFC back. Devinda needs to get in there, but needs not to isolate himself. Sia need to get this out of there, and that was terrible work from CRNFC. Very silly not to get the ball out of there and set it up again. And Ishan Noor getting a talking to from the referee. Noor, who captained CRNFC last year, still in his old habit of talking to the referee. So referees clearly don't like to be spoken to. And Ashan DeCosta being told to tell his former captain to be quiet, please, mate. And the referee advances the penalty. Not really sure why he needed to advance it that much, but he did anyway. Again, Kartelis at the front of the line out. Dulaj Pereira juggles it and gives it to the danger man, Viliami. Now Danushka Ranjan has to juggle again. And Robert Malnik misses the tackle. And this is Danushka Ranjan down the touchline. Good tackle made by Rochana Hettiarachi. A lovely offload from Ranjan to Viliami. But a superb bit of cover defense from CRNFC there. And now Josh Koifa. Now Havelocks with their tails up. DeCosta looks for Ranjan, looks for Mututantri. It's a high tackle from Nipuna Devin. The referees let it go. And now DeCosta gives it to his big forward runner. That was Ganuka Disanaika. Quick ball from that ruck. And the referee's given a penalty for offside. And he's calling another CRNFC player. He's going to have a word. They might see a card here. Yes, we do. And that was Rajat Abekun, who will spend 10 minutes in the bin. So another big problem there for CRNFC, who's lost their line-out jumper. And now, immediately, knowing that that line-out jumper is gone, Sudarshan Mututantri calls for... Well, he calls for the scrum, actually. I thought he should have gone for the line-out, but he's calling for the scrum. And that may not be a bad call at all. Watch for Josh Koifa. This is the sort of range that he's comfortable with. Be run into the 9-10 channel. There's also a lot of space on the left side. And there he goes. Sasanka Ariyaratne is running laterally. Billy James missing a tackle. And now Viliami Tahitiva. Good tackle there from Sasanka Ariyaratne. Kavindu DeCosta looking for Anuranga Valpola. The forward runners, but good line speed in defense from Nipuna Devinder. Now they've got space on the outside. Beautiful tackle from Robert Malnik, who wraps up Hiranta Pereira. Got off his line just in time. Shut down the move in midfield. Good experience from Malnik. And now Kavindu DeCosta trying to go through the middle, and now they've got some space. Isha Noor looks for Malinda Hettiarachi. Should probably have given it, but chose to take it into contact, Noor. And now they've got space on the outside, but Nipuna Devinder spills the ball. And that was a shocking miss from the prop forward. Probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Should have allowed the ball to go to Kanchana Ramanayaka, who has moved to the wing. And a chance goes a begging. So Ganuka Disanayaka comes off. He's replaced by Tusista Samaratilaka, who will go into the flankers berth, and Jason Melder probably will move up to the front row. Positional change as well as a substitution for Havelocks. Player down, that's Arun Kumar receiving some attention from the CRNFC physio. Pretty large crowd gathered here at the Longdon Place grounds to watch this Havelocks versus CR clash. Good to see the crowds coming back to rugby. And this fixture has become competitive again. Good scrum ball available, but lovely work from Dilan Soiza there, hassling his opposite number. Kanchana Ramanayaka coming off his wing to collect that ball and thumping it down the middle for Mithun Hapugada to run back and collect. And now Sandun Herath has a chance to put his ears back. Missing the tackle is Robert Malnick, and Sudarshan Mututantri supports like the brute flanker he is. Outstanding work from Sudarshan Mututantri to support his winger Sandun Herath there. And referee Dimitri Gunasekara will have a little input as to what happened. It's been a lot of talking and back chat with the referee, and looks like we're getting another yellow card, and Rochana Hettiarachchi interfered with Sudarshan Mututantri there illegally. And Rochana will go to the bin, so CRNFC are playing with 13 men. 13 against 15. Havelocks really have to make this count. Robert Malnick missing a tackle. You can see that Malnick is not 80 minutes fit, especially not in this heat. So that's going to be a problem for CR, because they're missing a player at the back and they're missing a player in the front. Watch for Josh Koifa coming on the open side here. He's actually got quite a bit of room on the blind as well. Here he is, Havelocks. Havelocks looking to try and shove this one over with Melda in the front row. Josh Koifa picks it up. It's a real mess on the ground. And it's a score. Havelocks have scored. Completely obscured what happened there. I wish I could tell you exactly what went on, but our camera angle doesn't give me any more help than it gives you. The CR players dejected, sitting on the ground. They don't think the try was scored, but the Havelocks players seemed pretty confident, and so did referee Priyantha Gunaratne. So Havelocks hitting back with the 13 men that CRNFC are playing with. And now it's 17 points to 10 with the conversion to come for Dulaj Pereira to make it a 5-point game all over again. So fresh legs making the difference for the Havelocks. Viliami. And finally getting the ball into the hands of Sandun Herath. It's taken a while, but whenever he gets it, he looks dangerous. And that's a great kick from Dulaj Pereira. Makes a big difference to play 17 versus 12 rather than 17 versus 10. Outstanding work by Sandun Herath there. And superb support play by Sudarshan Mututantri. Such a good flanker he is. Pops up in all the right places. And CRNFC, their body language has changed a little bit. With Robert Malnick tiring, you can see the whole CR team is dropping their shoulders a little bit. And CR really don't have the sort of foreign players to bring off the bench to make a difference, just like Viliami is doing at the moment. And now Dulaj Pereira looking to run from in their own 22. Viliami brushes off Sasanka Aryaratne, but can't brush off Billy James Ropina. Danushka Ranjan knocks the ball on. Ishan Noor trying to G up his forwards. There's only 7 of them at the moment. And this scrum is really important. So last year's captain for Sia trying to work some of his old magic. And Sia playing with an all-local set of forwards. So Sasanka Aryaratne will go into the back. Comes off the back. But good defense from Havelocks. Kavindri Costa does well. And now Rehan Tyagaraja, who's come onto the park. Viliami Brought down finally in the tackle by Malnik. It's a good run from Shahan Patirana there. Finds the inside pass. But the ball is in touch. So you can see the injection of the fresh legs really making a difference for Havelocks. Rehan Thiagaraja has come on the wing. And I don't understand why Thiagaraja didn't come on at fullback as a straight swap for Mohammad Sharif earlier on in the game. He's a very talented player, Rehan. And Havelocks have numbers, and they are looking to use them. Lots of players out wide, Thiagaraja and Hiranta Pereira, but can they win this line out? That's the important question. Well won there by Ashen Kartelis, but it's a crooked throw. In fact, it's closing the gap, says the referee. Or it's a fake. That's what the referee is saying. And Ashan Di Costa puts this dangerously into the hands of two of the faster, younger players of this Havies team, Hiranta Pereira and Rehan Thiagaraja. But Hiranta looks to find the safety of touch rather than exploiting the numbers. So CRNFC making a substitution. Shane Samada Peruma coming on in place of, not sure who it's in place of, but another shocking bit of work in the line out. This is Hiranta Pereira. Runs into trouble. Now Viliami. You can't go high on him. Now there's space for Havelocks. Now they've got Rehan Thiagaraja. Kanchana Ramanayaka. He should really have straightened it. That was good work in the end by CRNFC. Superb defense. Well done from Kanchana Ramanayaka there. And now Malnik will fake and try and put Mithun Hapagoda under pressure. There's no chase coming from anyone. Billy James Ropina finally gets there. And now Havelocks look to step. That's a lovely step from Sandun Herath. Herath runs straight into the back of Malnik, but Ishan Noor looks to tidy things up a bit there. Anuranga Walpola. It's good pressure at the contact from Havelocks, Viliami. Billy James and Viliami running into each other. Robert Malnik now looking for territory. Puts Hiranta Pereira under some pressure. He takes it well, the young lad. But the referee says no advantage from that knock forward. You can see the CR players are really struggling here. It's only the 28th minute of play. You've got another 12 minutes plus injury time left. And if Malnik can't last the next 12 minutes, there's going to be a big problem. CR still down to 14 men. Rajat Abekun is back on the park. But Rochana Hettiarachi is still off. So it's an 8-man scrum again for Sia. And Ashan Di Costa puts in an interesting kick. It's not a grubber, it's not an up and under. And Hiranta Pereira exploiting the lack of a fullback. Kanchana Ramanayaka does well, really well in fact, to come off his wing and mark that ball. He'll take his time now. He'll know that there's a lot of time before Rochana Hettiarachi comes back from the sin bin, so he won't mind that at all. And Ramanayaka puts the big kick in and finds good touch. So good work from Ramanayaka. Yes, being an unsung hero this evening. Huge work rate from the young lad, former Trinity College player. That's stolen by Rajit Abekun. And Ashen Kartel is losing the ball at the front of the line out. Ishan Noor makes a good bust. But that wasn't released by... And that looked like the tackler really hadn't released that player there. You've got to release a player when he goes to ground. The referee coming back for the knock forward though, which I thought there was a penalty advantage. And now off your screens, Rochana Hettiarachi re-enters the fray. The Dharmaraja fullback coming back into action here. So Sia back to their full complement. Sasanka Aryaratna plays at number 8. And now Ashan Di Costa puts another kick in, but he's overcooked it. That was a right idea, but bad execution from the CRNFC captain. And Havelocks will now need to really pressure, have some new tactics in the line out. Shehan Patharana will probably be the go-to man. But well done by Dilanka Pereira to steal that ball off him. Not sure whether they closed the gaps or not there. The referee has been calling that. And once again, we're looking for a yellow card, I think. Sudarshan Muthuthantri, the captain himself, gets a yellow card. He's disgusted, Muthu. Muthuthantri is really disappointed to go off, and that's a huge loss for Havelocks once again. Not only in terms of leadership, but in terms of scavenging that ball, getting around, supporting the ball carrier. One man they can't afford to lose is Sudarshan Muthuthantri, and they have. So that might be the end of his game. No, don't know how much time is left on the referee's clock, but they might have to play the rest of this game with 14 men. Robert Malnick finally comes off. That's what you hear the applause for. He's had a good game. And Nalin Kumara replaces him at fly half, and Ashan Di Costa goes to the position that he played in school, which is number 13. So interesting positional changes for Sia. Bit of confusion as to who's being substituted or not. Again, not a good line out. Not a good line out at all from Sia there. Nalin Kumara, the brother of Salia Kumara, has come on at fly half for Sia. And maybe some fresh legs could make a difference. CRNFC lacking a bit of depth in their team. They've got rather a few players who crossed over. Well, not crossed over, but are from the disbanded Upcountry Lions team. Nearly 12 of those players. It's a bit of confusion here as to who's replaced whom. Robert Malnick has come off, so they can send in a second player, who is Joe Faumui, who has gone in. It's been a bit of a problem here because it looks like CRNFC have played the last couple of phases of play with 16 players on the park. That's not a good bit of work from the assistant referees at all. They really need to manage the substitutions better than this, and they're really lucky that CRNFC haven't scored in that little bit of exchange. because if they had 16 players on the park, that would have been shocking. Josh Koifi comes off the back of that scrum, which is under severe pressure. Hiranta Pereira looking to run. Does well. Gets the ball across to Sandun Herat, but they get across and cover him nicely. But Havelock's making some good ground there. Somehow Joel Pereira comes away with it. The former Wesley flanker. Ashan Di Costa tries to put the chip in, but it's charged down. And it looks like Viliami Tahitua might have held that one up, but they do well, Sia, to get that ball to ground. This is Joe Faumui. Not the most awe-inspiring foreign player you'll see in the world. Mithun Habugode now finds the gap, and Ashen Kartelis looks for Rehan Thiagaraja. Rehan steps inside. Beautiful step from Rehan Thiagaraja. Is he going to go all the way? Yes. And now Dushmanta Priyadarshan, the prop forward, is with him. That ball didn't go forward, says the referee, and Havelock still have it. Good defense from CR in the end. That was Dilanka getting across, as was Joel Pereira. And now Jason Melder goes in. But it looks like CR might have turned this one over. And the referee blows his whistle. And Joe Faumui, in fact it's Billy James Ropina, who did well to win that turnover. It's a real mess on the ground. Everybody's lying over everybody else. It's an area of the game Sri Lanka Rugby really needs to tighten up the breakdown. And that needs to start from coaches, and it needs to end with referees, with the players in the middle. There's far too many people leaving their feet and just making a mess of the breakdown. But Rochana Hettiarachi, not his greatest touch finder of the evening. Still inside the 22. And the row you hear behind me is for Dylan Soiza, who's had an excellent game at scrum half, who makes way for Rahul De Silva. Brilliantly won there by Joel Pereira, or Rajit Abekun, in fact, in the front of that line out. And Rahul De Silva, the new scrum half, has to make his first pass under serious pressure. And the referee says that was, it looked like it might have been a maul. Should the ball have come Havi's way? Not sure. Not coming out. Should it have gone to Havelock's? Because that was a maul. Rahul De Silva to put into this scrum. CR scrum has improved tremendously since the substitutions were made. But Joe Faumui gets overpowered, and now Havelocks have some space to run. Viliami, Sandun Herat gives it to Danushka Ranjan. They've got 2 on 3. Danushka Ranjan looks like he wants to go all by himself. Good tackle by Rochana Hettiarachi in the end, and now Nalin Kumara tries to come away. Viliami flying in there. And I think the referee will catch him for a no arms high tackle. Rochana Hettiarachi will look to find some good touch. It's not a great touch finder again. The tired legs of Rochana Hettiarachi. He's been in the bin. His legs would have stiffened up a little bit, so he's not finding the same yardage he was earlier. But Joe Faumui looks more a liability in the CR jersey than one of the local players would have been. Now Malinda Hettiarachi to throw in. Nicely won by Rajit Abekun there. And CRNFC try to hold on to this one and rumble it. It's still a 5-point game. There's nothing in it yet. And Rahul De Silva runs straight into Shehan Pathirana. That wasn't a good decision from the young scrum half. CRNFC need to protect their scrum half. Don't look like they're doing that with any sort of intent. But Ashan De Costa steps nicely away from Shehan Pathirana's pressure and puts this ball down into the half. But it's a great tackle made by Nalin Kumar on Sandun Herath. That could have been a dangerous move. And Havelocks have lost it and CRNFC have won it back. Sandun Herath, thumping tackle on Rahul De Silva. Nobody seems to want this ball. But the referee has come back for the knock-on. There's been so many knock-ons in that passage of play. And Mithun Hapugoda walking back towards the right of your screen. Just shaking his head at the comedy of it all, really. Because it's been an absolute passage of errors in that last few moments. Billy James Ropina in the number 12 jersey for CRNFC. Will probably be the recipient of this ball if they can get it away. Joe Faumui. Yes, gives it to Billy James. And a nice stutter step from Billy James, but he loses the ball forward in the tackle. That's just inexcusable from a foreign player. You expect much better from your professionals. On the ground there, Havelocks looking to spread it now. Are they going to run this one from out of here? Looks like they're going to try. It's a good tackle there by Ashan De Costa. And Havelocks throwing everything at the CRNFC team. CR come away with it. Can they get the numbers? No, they can't not before the ball goes into touch. And that's the end of the game. CRNFC win by 17 points to 12. A deserved victory in the end because they managed to convert their chances. Havelocks will rue their missed chances. It was an outstanding performance in the end by the CRNFC team who came back from the brink. They really had pressure the way they finished last year. And Havelocks fielding a severely weakened team, playing without their captain in the last 10 minutes, just weren't able to pull it together. They tried to throw it around, but they just lack a little bit of structure. Havelocks, and this is where they might look to the likes of Niroshan Fernando to come into the number 12 position and maybe steady things up a little bit. And that's something that they really have to do because it looks very much like they're missing the likes of Sharo Fernando and Terence Henry at the front to make the difference, to give the good ball for those backs to run off. And so Havelocks have a little bit of work to do, but CRNFC extend their unbeaten run to 2 games now. A lot of frustration on both players, for both sets of players, because their discipline was wanting. And the referee also forced to give quite a few yellow cards, forced to blow quite a few penalties. And that's an area of the game that both these teams will need to manage going forward in their season. But it's been exciting action here at the Longdon Place grounds as CRNFC take a lead into the second round game to be played at Havelock Park in this Mathis Trophy game. They have a 5-point cushion to take into that match, and maybe they will be able to win the Mathis Trophy after a lapse of a couple of years. So 2012 champions Havelocks have lost their first game in the second week of this Dialogue Rugby A Division League, and let's see whether they can come back from this. It's going to be tremendously good rugby that we have in store for you. The teams just feeling their way with each other at the moment and trying to find their own combinations and their best players and their best starting lineup. So let's wait and see how all those things pan out in the upcoming weeks. But before that, tomorrow we have Kandy who travel down to Army, and that match will be at the racecourse, and we'll see that wonderful Kandy line in action. So hopefully that match will be a cracker as well. We'll bring it to you live and exclusive on www.thepapare.com. My name is Shanak and I'll join you tomorrow. Until then, don't go anywhere.